Howdy everyone, it's Weather for Weather Geeks time on this Wednesday. We're going to geek out to some interesting stuff today, and today's definitely a warmer day compared to the last couple of days. We've got a little bit more in the way of sun, although the clouds are starting to win the battle in some places, and as expected, the atmosphere is starting to get a little bit busy with some showers and some thunderstorms around. As I record this at about 2 o'clock, a lot of the activity right now is just north and east of our viewing area. We've had quite a few cells up in Crawford County, PA. Now heading over towards Franklin and Oil City, just east of Grove City and New Wilmington right now. We've got a couple of showers around. And with some of these heftier cells, there may very well be some small, maybe pea-sized hail that tries to form with any of these heftier cells for the rest of the day today. The air aloft, very, very chilly. We've also got quite a bit of activity back towards the Columbus area, especially just west of Columbus right now, just outside of Interstate 270. West Jefferson, back towards South Charleston, Cedarville, a fair amount of lightning in here, and I suspect there's probably some hail with this as well. Let me put the radar in motion, and then I'm going to zoom back out, give you a general sense as to how these things are moving. The activity that's closer to us is moving pretty much due east. Down towards Columbus, that activity, as the data continues to load, is moving just a little south of east. So kind of hugging I-70 and getting set to move south of I-70 right now. So this is how things look at about 2 o'clock. I won't spend a whole lot of time on this because, as most of you watch this, it'll be well after 2 o'clock, and this information will be a little outdated. As I mentioned, it is a little warmer this afternoon. It's not exactly a heat wave when you consider it's July 30th, but it feels warmer to me anyway. 73 right now at the Youngstown Warren Airport, 74 in Newcastle, pretty close to 70, Akron, Canton. The dew points are coming up a bit as well. Again, it's not humid, but it's a little more humid, a little more noticeable than it has been. Dew points are in the mid-50s, upper 50s as we speak. So that's kind of a quick overview of what's going on right now. I mentioned that cold air aloft, upstairs in the atmosphere, and how that is having an influence on our weather. Not only is that partly responsible for why it's so cool outside where we live here at the ground, but it also plays a factor into the possibility of some hail this afternoon. These are the temperatures at about 5,000 feet, or for you real weather geeks, about the 850 millibar level. And legend over here is in Celsius, but generally speaking, in Celsius, the air at about 5,000 feet is around somewhere between 07 and say 11 Celsius, which is in the mid-upper 40s to around 50 Fahrenheit. So you don't have to go too far up in the atmosphere before you find some pretty chilly air for the end of July. So as these rain cells, thunderstorms rise up to about that level, and then of course a little above that, the air starts to get down to the freezing level, and some hail starts to form, and eventually that hail gets a little too heavy for the updrafts to hold up, and it falls down to the ground. And I think there will be some scattered storms around this afternoon that do bring maybe a little, we're not talking big golf ball size hail, but maybe some pea size hail to some areas. All right, so what's going to happen for the rest of the day then, at least according to our computer model? Now we're going to take what I'm going to show you here with a little bit of a grain of salt as always, because I just showed you the current radar. Now here's what the model thinks the radar actually looks like at about 2 p.m. The latest high-resolution rapid refresh model, that is. As you can see, it's overdone. It's showing too much stuff out there. So we're going to take it with a grain of salt, but we're looking for the general ideas here for the rest of the afternoon so you can plan accordingly. And I think the overall idea here is that a lot of us will have, in fact, most of us, I think, will have more dry time than wet time the rest of the day today, but we are under the gun, so to speak. See a spotty shower, even a thunderstorm. Here's the predicted radar on the latest rapid refresh model at, this will be 5 p.m. Doesn't have anything over most of Youngstown at that point, but again, it's just a model, and we're not going to take it literally. We're not going to take it verbatim. We're just looking for the general trends and ideas here. And the general trend and idea is as we head towards later in the evening, once we lose the heating of the day, the sun goes down, I think we're going to start to lose some of this activity. It'll become a little more sparse past sunset. This is 8 o'clock this evening. Here's 9 o'clock. And as you can see, there's a general waning trend to our shower and thunder shower activity once we're done with the daylight hours today. So keep your eye to the sky. Be sure and check out the interactive radar, wfmj.com/weather, and our weather apps. If you don't have our app yet, if you have an Apple or an Android device, be sure and pick that up. We hope to have it for Windows phones, I think, at some point, hopefully soon, but certainly for Android and Apple devices. So we've got a pretty nice app where you can get some good weather information on there, including the radar. Let's go to tomorrow then. We've been carrying since yesterday this small chance, 20% chance for a quick shower tomorrow. And the reason for that is our trough of low pressure is still going to be lingering in the east tomorrow. Here's a look at the flow up at about 18,000 feet. Once it comes up, and yeah, you can easily pick out this big, sharp, deep trough still over the east tomorrow. And what that means, what that translates to is the atmosphere gets just unstable enough. There's still that chilly air aloft that, maybe there tries to be a quick shower tomorrow. This is the latest NAM model for late morning tomorrow. It doesn't have anything yet, but as we get into the afternoon, it's going to try to spit up a couple of things here and there. I think what I'll probably end up doing with our forecast today is keeping that 20% chance tomorrow. If you want to get to the Columbiana County Fair, mow your grass, play golf, vast majority of the day tomorrow just fine. I just can't completely rule out, especially in the afternoon, that there's a quick passing, 5-minute shower or maybe even just a sprinkle. With that trough still in the east, it's one of those things that I can't completely rule out. And as we switch over to the GFS model here and take a look at Friday, it's the same general idea. There's still troughiness in the east, not much moisture to wring out, but I suppose especially in the afternoon there could be a stray shower on Friday. There's a stronger disturbance coming down on Saturday. And as this stronger disturbance comes down and starts to pick up a little more moisture, I think it's going to turn more humid. This is Saturday afternoon into the evening. I think the activity is a little more common. It's still not going to be a wet day, but I think it's a little wetter than Thursday and Friday across eastern Ohio and western Pennsylvania. So plan accordingly. Bridgestone Golf Tournament over in Akron this weekend. A lot of people might be checking that out. The Columbiana County Fair still running through the weekend as well. So Saturday's a day that's a little more unsettled, I think, than Thursday and Friday. And then Sunday, we're kind of back to this real hit or miss stuff. Maybe even it's a completely dry day. I haven't seen the other models just yet, but that's the overall idea. And then the long-range temperature trend. This hasn't really changed much over the last couple of days. We're going to get back up to our average, which is pretty close to 80. Late this weekend to the weekend, and beyond that, we're not going to stray too much from it. I just don't see much of a chance for 90 anytime through the first 2 weeks of August. We have had many summers where we don't hit 90 degrees here in Youngstown. It's more common to get at least a few days, but it's not unheard of to go the whole summer without seeing 90, and maybe this will be one of those summers. Certainly through the first couple of weeks of August, the models are not pointing towards any sort of sustained heat coming back to the east. We'll spend a lot of time close to average, maybe even a little below average, but it doesn't look like we should have a whole lot of way below average type of temperatures like we've had several times recently. All right, that's today's weather for Weather Geeks. I'll see you tomorrow at this same time for the Thursday edition. In the meantime, check out my forecast tonight on the TV side, 21 News at 6 and 11. I'll see you then.